So hi, this is my submission for the Gemini AI competition, and I have built a Google Chrome extension named CodeKitty. And what it actually does, it actually explain a GitHub repository, and you can chat with a GitHub repository to understand its code base, understand its files using Gemini AI API in the backend. So let's see how it actually works. So you can see here, I have opened a repository from Google Gemini, which is generative AI JS library, I think something like library or SDK. So here you can see the multiple buttons from the AI from the Google Chrome extension, the explain button, open button, and a CodeKitty button. And let's start with the explain button. So when you tap the explain button, it actually briefly explain the repository. So let's start. Here you can see a side panel has just opened and it explaining the repository. Here you can see that explain all these GitHub repository files point wise, and it is actually explaining the GitHub repo files here, all the files, what actually the files do here. You can see the readme file, package or JSON file, the code metadata file, unlock file, and it can actually read the readme. So you can actually ask questions. But here the side panel has the context of only the current page, so it can actually answer questions from the current DOM or current web page, not the whole repo. So I can actually start asking questions. File, what is dot ptrc file doing here? So let's see what it actually gives me. So here it is explaining the ptrc file, .ptrc file, consistent code style, and it always explains point wise. That is a good thing. Reduce arguments, whatever the thing is. Okay, so it can actually explain the files. Now I will go to the some individual file to understand the code. You can see that I opened a code file, request.ts TypeScript file, and this is pretty much a big code with line 231. So what you can do, actually you can just open the panel and ask questions about this code. What I will just ask, explain this code here. Okay, it will take time, and it is explaining the whole code. It is explaining further ask questions about. Or what you can do, you can just select a code block, and here a explain button will appear. I am zooming. A explain button will appear. You can just tap the explain button to get a explanation. So let's see how it works. And here you can see, after tapping the explain button, in explaining the code. Okay, explain this code. The whole code is not showing, but you can further ask questions. So I will open a very small repository, very minimum lines of code, like 10,000 12,000 lines of code. Then I will show you how it actually works. So here you can see I have opened a very small repository, very little small repository, which is a Node.js project for real-time chat application. So here you can see a button. So I will tap the button, and it will open a side panel, and this side panel and the editor is this. So if I start chatting with this, what it actually do, it will take this name, the repo name and the owner name, and will send it to the GitHub API, and from the GitHub API it will retrieve all contents of this repository recursively one by one, and build a text file of the whole code, a single text file to the whole code. And then from that, so I will build a document retriever using LangChain, and the vector stored using the embedding model. Then I will build a pipeline to chat with the code, but the responses will be very little, very small. So I can ask, what is in index.js? So I haven't opened the index.js file, but it can answer because it has the context of whole repository. So let's see. So it will actually take time. So it's building. You will build the rack. It will first retrieve the repository, build the rack, and then answer. You can see it gave the answer. The index file contains code setting for HTTPS server and whatever it is giving. I haven't opened the index.js file, but it can answer. So I can actually ask, what is in public folder? What is in public folder? So let's see what actually it gives. A public folder contain private key file, name private key, and certificate file, name certificate of CRT. I think this is giving a wrong name because this is a SSL folder, so it may give wrong responses. So but it has context of the whole repository, and I have restricted it to total lines of code to 12,000, and after that it will, like, it is crashing, the server is crashing. I don't know why, because of the larger context length or whatever, but this is what it is. I am opening the index file. I can actually the copy paste something and ask the repository whether from this, or whether from this. This panel has the context of the current DOM, current web page, and these have the context of the whole repository using rag. Okay, so this is what my submission for the Gemini AI competition. Okay, thank you.